You know, incoming First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, was advised to drop the title in a Wall Street Journal op-ed by columnist Joseph Epstein. He writes that she's not a medical doctor, but a doctor of education. So it comes off as fraudulent. What the hell? You know what, man? I gotta stay. I have 7 honorary doctorates. I know I'm not a doctor, but she earned her doctorates. She went to school, she earned her doctorates. You, sir, your doctorate is like mine. Somebody said, oh, let's get her to come over here and we'll give her an honorary doctor. How dare you? I read your op-ed. You're just a, I don't know what to say. Sonny, how you feel about it? Am I crazy?
No, I was so outraged when I read it because it just reeked of a misogynist, you know? We have so many people that come on this show. We have attorney generals, we have secretaries of state, and I think it's ambassadors. I think it's really important to honor people's accomplishments, especially women. Yeah. I think it's important to call them Dr. Biden, call them Attorney General James. I think that kind of thing is extremely important in life because Dr. Biden worked really hard to get not only her doctorate, but her 2 master's degrees. And what will be different for Dr. Biden as First Lady is that she will continue her work at a community college, teaching. Teachers are one of the most important professions that we have in this country. They teach our children, they've taught all of us, and for this guy to say, you know, call her kiddo, by the way, and also say that her degree is somehow fraudulent, my head almost exploded this weekend. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. What about you, Sarah?
Well, as an arbiter of academia, I wish he would have engaged in an academic conversation, because here's a woman who's going to take on education. There's plenty of conversations there, whether we forgive student loan debt, whether we standardize tests. The endless conversations about education would have been nice, but he went after her personally, which is like mocking her for what she's wearing rather than entering the conversation and winning it on merit. The other thing is, although there was a lot of misogyny in the article, he seemed to be an equal opportunity hater. He came for celebrities, he came for men, he came for athletes, he came for everyone. Ends up, this guy has been a jerk since the 70s. He wrote a bunch of articles, homophobic articles, racist references. He covered the gamut on everything, and I feel that the only way he can remain relevant is by being sensational. So he sold his integrity at the door. I had his number 2 minutes in, and you don't need a PhD in psychology to recognize that he has a Napoleonic complex.
We were just talking about the minuscule monster who is the Wall Street journalist, op-ed writer, who suggested Jill Biden drop her title since she's not a medical doctor. He's a bonehead. What do you think, Anna?
Yeah, one of the funny things he says, one of the most ridiculous things he says is, you shouldn't be called a doctor unless you've delivered a baby. Well, she has delivered a baby. Her name is Ashley Biden. But listen, when I read this piece, I was like, who is this Joseph Epstein? Who is this dude? Who is he other than a bloviating, misogynist, racist, homophobe? Because as Sarah said, in the 70s, he wrote this horrible column where he said, there is much my 4 sons can do in their lives that might cause me anguish, that might outrage me, that might make me ashamed of them and of myself as their father. But nothing they could ever do would make me sadder than if any of them were to become homosexual. And this is an article, a piece which had the N-word repeatedly. So here's my point, though, okay? We know this guy is nothing but chip on his shoulder, guy with a lot of complexes and issues, attacking Jill Biden, who worked hard as hell. She's got 2 master's degrees and a doctorate of education, which she earned while raising a family and working full-time. But here's my question and my point. Okay, so this guy's a fool. But Wall Street Journal, shame on you. I expect so much more from the Wall Street Journal. I hold them to a higher standard. This is not the National Enquirer. This is not some rag sheet or some blog. This is the Wall Street Journal. And for them to have these low of a standard for who they publish, to attack the First Lady of the United States, is really kind of disgraceful and brings shame and embarrassment to them.
Yeah. What about you, Joy?
Can I jump in here? Yeah, I was going to say, you know, first of
Yeah.
all, don't call her kiddo. She's not somebody you met on Tinder, okay? She's the next First Lady of the United States. I think that we've been respectful to Melania, and we will be respectful to Jill. The other thing is, quickly, I know I have no time here, but I looked up the word doctor, the etymology of the term doctor. It comes from the Latin word for teacher, and originally referred to a small group of theologians from the Roman Catholic Church. And in the 14th century, after the Renaissance saw the blossoming of teaching and learning, that the word doctor was applied to accomplished academics and medical professionals. So it refers to her job first, not a doctor, if you go by the etymology. And on top of that, in Britain, in England, they do not even call doctors doctor. They call them Mr., Mrs., and Ms. So he needs to get a lesson from this. As you all pointed out, he sounds like a real beauty.
Yeah.
But he has the.
Yeah.
I just like to add one small thing. I think he has the right to write any stupid thing he wants. That's the country we live in, and we have the right to tell him how stupid he sounds.